Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by 1Equine. We're back at Albion Park on Saturday night, 10-race program, and we kick off at 5:34. There'll be plenty of interest and eyes on Sydney down at Menangle there with that paleface Adios Chariots of Fire qualifier. 3 Queenslanders stepping out, but there's plenty of interest in the local meeting. It's a good card as well, well balanced. In this edition of Weekend Winners, I'm going to catch up with Taleah McMullen and Brendan Barnes. Taleah McMullen now joins us to go through her book of drives on Saturday night. Busy night coming up for Taleah, and she's in the hot seat now. Taleah, appreciate the time.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Your first drive, race 1, Glenletty Boy. Now, I was doing some research on Glenletty Boy. It's been over 12 months since you sat behind this guy. You know him well, but it's been a long time between drinks for you two.
Yeah, I haven't driven him for a while, but I remember him being pretty easy to drive and tries pretty hard, so hopefully he'll run a good race.
This looks a perfect draw for him, gate 2. He can be okay off the arm. He's not brilliant, so gate 2 just seems perfect.
Yeah, hopefully it would be ideal if he could find the fence, but if he can't, we've still got plenty of options.
Do you prefer him at 2100 compared to the mile?
I don't think it really worries him too much. He seems to be pretty versatile like that.
Okay. There's a number of horses in this race that are boasting really good credentials, but at his best, he's well and truly capable of showing up here.
Yeah, definitely. There is some horses with really good form, and it's a pretty tough race, but I definitely don't think he's out of it. He still has the ability to win, just hopefully we get a nice run.
Okay, Keith and Melissa, they do a super job with their team, so he's going to be primed and ready to go. That's Glenletty Boy, race 1. What about in race number 3? You had the choice here, Square Dealer, What a Roller. Was it an obvious choice in the end?
Yeah, probably, and also Square Dealer gets pulling, so What a Roller was just an easier option, a lot nicer to drive sometimes, so that made it a bit easier, but yeah, Roller's a bit more tractable as a racehorse.
Is he one of your favourites?
Yeah, I really like him. I'm probably a bit of a fence driver. I love sticking to the fence, so he probably suits me pretty good like that.
Okay, well, looking at this race, is there a chance that Rock Supreme might be able to lead? If he does, that really brings you right into this race.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Last start he got driven with a sit, Rock Supreme, and went really good, so he's got options, but they've led on him plenty of times before, and he's gone really good, so if they lead, I think I'm a really good chance.
Okay, and just looking at that front row, you're almost guaranteed a good tempo here.
Oh yeah, even if he ends up 3 fence, I think that it'll still be a solid run race and should hopefully be some gaps late, and he'll be looking for them.
All right, 3 runs ago, he was awesome when he led all the way. Placed at his next 2. Are you happy with the way he's going right now?
Yeah, I was really happy with him last start, and the start before that, he probably just burned a bit hard early, but 8 is just the ideal draw for him. He won't have to do any work, and he loves that. He loves sitting on the fence, and 2 weeks between runs probably suits him really good too.
All right, excellent push there for What a Roller. That's race 3, number 8. What about race 4? Speaking of favourites, this guy's probably in the equation as well. Red Right Hand. I'm tipping he's a bit of a PB of yours, so where does he rank?
Yeah, he's really lovely to drive. He's just no worries to have around at all. Probably been slightly a little disappointed with his last couple runs. He's been going good, but just don't think he's been 100% at his best. But hopefully he can bounce back here. There's obviously some nice horses in his race, like Speak the Truth, and gate 3 can sometimes be tricky, but I think we have to press forward and hopefully we can get somewhere handy.
Okay, so a little disappointing in your opinion, but he set himself a very high standard early on. When he first arrived, he sort of did some really good things. So do you think he's just fractionally down on that sort of form?
Yeah, I think he is probably up to free-for-all level and can follow them. And he's put in some runs that have proved that, but he's just last couple, he just doesn't seem to be 100%. He's trying really hard. It's been really hot as well, and it's his first Queensland summer coming over from New Zealand, so I think that's probably taking a bit of a toll on him as well.
Okay, just looking back at that replay from last week, do you think he should have finished closer?
I think if he was at his best, I don't know if he would have won, but I think he would have got a bit closer and maybe even come second.
Okay. Speak the Truth is the pin-up pacer in this race, but he's drawn out in 7. Do you give yourself any chance of knocking him off first up?
I don't know. Probably if Red Right Hand was going a little bit better, then possibly, only because Speak the Truth is also first up. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. If we found the fence and were sitting on him, I think maybe we could give him a little run for his money, but he's a pretty classy horse, so I think he looks pretty hard to beat.
Okay, so ideally, where would you like to be sitting with a red right hand?
Oh, I'd like to find the fence, but to be honest, I don't really know if I can. But 1-1 would probably be ideal, even 1 out, 2 back, and not have to pull out too early.
Do you give it a red-hot crack at the start, though? Try and look for the lead?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Why not?
Okay, well, that's red right hand. Let's go across to race 7. You've picked up the drive here on Forgive Me. Have you driven her previously?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, this is a good drive to get because she's in form, mare's in form. They normally sort of tend to hold it, so you can't knock the way she's going. She got a needle eye opening last week. She was able to burst through and score. Can she go back to back?
Possibly. Got good form. She's going well. Probably depends where we end up after the start, but I think she could definitely win again, but just depends where we are.
One of the best things about this mare is her versatility, and last week proved it. She can really run the gate, but she can take cover as well, so you've got options.
Yeah, she was really good last week and run the gate good, so if we could kind of repeat that, then I think she could definitely be in with a good chance.
Do you think it's a little harder this field this week compared to last week?
Yeah, probably. It's a little bit of a step up, but still, it's a pretty even field. I don't think there's a real standout.
Okay, are you rolling forward here?
I think, yeah, probably.
Yep. All right. Your own runner in race 8, Sal's Last Blast. He comes to Albion Park. Are you happy with the way he's going?
Yeah, she hasn't raced for, I think, 3 weeks now. She was supposed to race last Friday, but it was washed out. But this is a step up for her, but I actually don't mind her, and I think this will be, a good challenge for her, and I think she's good enough to handle it.
All right. Early gate speed. What do you, or how do you assess that?
I've got a lot of awkward draws Saturday night, and I think if you go back, there's probably not much chance at all. So again, I think just have to press forward. I don't see her finding the fence. She's not super quick out, but just in the running line, and it's her first time racing on a Saturday, and not going to be too ambitious, but hopefully she runs a nice race and hits the line well.
Okay, in time to come, are you confident that she will pick up a mare's Saturday night race?
I hope so. I think I'll get a better idea after this Saturday, though.
Okay, well, we'll watch with interest there. That's Sal's Last Blast. What about race 9? You're driving Elder Magician. This is a good pickup drive. I know the draw looks a little sticky, but he's a classy type. Yeah,
I've driven him a couple times, and he's really nice. I just had a quick look at the race, and I thought it looked a bit easier race than what he has been racing. It was only the up to 70 consolation, so I thought it looked that he was quite well placed.
All right, is the stablemate the horse to beat, always smoking?
Yeah, probably. He looks to be the leader, but I haven't really spoken to them about what their thoughts are yet, but I thought he'd be good enough to go forward in this race and give them a run for their money.
Yep, okay. Looks like there's going to be good tempo with Always Smoking likely to lead. You know, Pete's going to roll along.
Yeah.
Okay. In the last race, checking out the talent as your drive here. They've got a vice-like grip on this race, the Turpin McMullen stable. Did you have the choice here, or you were just allotted checking out the talent?
Yeah, I just got chucked on, so see
Not
how
a
we
bad
go.
drive to get.
No, he was really good last start. I don't think they've really been using him out the gate too much lately, so not sure if they'll want to try and press forward and find the fence and then take a sit, or just go back and drive him for luck, because he had a really good turn of foot last start when he won.
Yeah, and that's a good point you raised. So maybe not using him early, it just allows him to sort of find his balance, and he can show that speed at the end of his races like he did first up.
Yeah, and when it's a small field, it's not like you're going back and there's 12 horses in it. There's only, I think, 5 or 6 in it now, so won't be too far back.
All right. Well, it's a good book of drives there. A couple of awkward draws. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Probably What a Roller, just because it's a good draw for him. So as long as he gets a gap late, I think he's in with a good chance.
Okay, race 3, number 8, What a Roller. Taleah, as always, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thank you.
Brendan Barnes has some key drives on Saturday night, and we're about to find out more about them. He jumps into the hot seat and he's with us now. Brendan, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris.
Hey there, Joe. Race 1, number 11. You sat behind this guy for the first time last week. He was able to score. That was his third local run. Each of the runs have been super. He's a pretty nice horse, this guy.
Yeah, he is. He's got high speed, and that helps a lot. Obviously, tomorrow night I think he's drawn 11. he's going to be a long way off getting the trip that he got last week. But yeah, if they sort of run a bit upside down, he gets a good trip. He's definitely got high speed.
So when you first looked at this field and the draw, did you think no, or did you honestly think that he could go back to back, this guy?
Yeah, there's no reason he couldn't. I think he's definitely one of the better ones in it, and there's no standout horse in the race. But gate 11, always going to need sort of a little bit of tempo and, you know, a horse to sort of take us into it so we don't have to do too much ourselves. But he's definitely a hope.
What about the fact that it's over 2,138 metres? If you said that sort of draw at the mile, you'd say no. But given that you've got that extra bit of distance, it certainly helps.
It does. Hopefully just sort of that first, 300 or 400, they just have a look at one another and sort of don't back off too much through the middle. And yeah, it's sort of a pretty genuine race.
Okay, which one, if you could only pick one, are you more worried about? Would it be Chamonix? Would it be Glover? Would it be Bronski Delight? Is there something else in that field that you're worried about?
Oh, they're probably all a similar sort of horse. Chamonix sometimes can sort of be driven pretty tough. Lacks probably high gate speed. Glover's got brilliant gate speed, and Bronski Delight's sort of a quite an honest horse, but he's got a pretty ordinary draw too. But hopefully they all sort of want to go at one another early.
All right, just looking back at that replay from last week, at the top of the lane, did you give yourself any hope of running down OK Boomer?
I was pretty confident. He was travelling pretty well the whole run. We just obviously we're just losing that little bit of momentum, but obviously he'd done all the work and we'd done nothing. So I was confident, yeah.
All right, well that's Hey There Joe. That's race 1, number 11. What about in race 2? Beef City Blaze, he's back in action. We haven't seen this guy since Inter Dominion Grand Final night, and you were successful aboard Beef City Blaze. I think the favourite was the odds-on favourite on that occasion, not the Kingswood. Beef City Blaze was able to score. He hasn't trialled, has he?
Not to my knowledge. If he has, I haven't seen it anyway.
Yeah. So gate 2 here, a mile. What are the expectations?
I think it's a good draw. First up, he's in a spot. He doesn't need to do anything to get anywhere. I'd say he'll probably need the run, but they've chucked him in a Saturday night race first up, so they obviously think he's fought enough.
Yeah, his form last campaign was good. He seemed to just thrive on racing, and by the time he won that final, he went to the paddock full of confidence. So it'll be interesting to see how he returns here on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's an honest horse. He's won plenty of races. He's got good speed, and he shows up every week and does his job.
Whatever he does this weekend, we should keep following because you would expect further improvement to come.
You'd think so, yeah.
Okay. What about race 3? This is a good race coming up. Kick a Tin Along Pony is your drive here. Did you have a choice between this guy and Sir Brigadoon?
Yeah, I did. I think Sir Brigadoon's a nice horse in his own right as well, but I've been really looking forward to sort of drive and Kick a Tin Along Pony with a sit. I think it sort of maps perfectly for him to sort of just go back off the gate and drive him with one run. And he's the way he went, the Tamworth Golden Guitar, the way he felt in that final when he was driven with one run, I think he's quite a nice horse.
Okay, looking at this field and how it's sort of set up with the barrier draw, there's going to be good speed here.
Yeah, there is definitely, and I think, I wouldn't swap my drive for any of them.
Okay, so you think he's going to be better than with cover than what he is when he's out in front?
100%. In front, he sort of, I know he's won a couple of races in front, but he never really feels like he's the winner when he's in front. You sort of got to niggle at him the whole way. He always does enough to keep kicking. Where when he's on a helmet, he travels really strong, and he's always sort of wanting to do it.
Okay, is it a focus thing with him?
Yeah, quite possibly could be. Yeah.
Okay. So ideally, say at the 400, you'd like to be 3 deep with cover.
Oh, that'd be lovely. For a 3 wide, 1 back, it'd be Merry Christmas.
Okay, so a good push here for Kick a Tin Along Pony. Do you think he's going to knock up winning races at Albion Park?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got a good future ahead of him. He's got that versatility. He's got really good gate speed. So, he's always sort of going to be able to get himself to the fence when the opportunity's there for him. And yeah, he should just be a good money spinner. All
right. Kick a Tin Along Pony. Good push there. What about in race 4? High voltage again for Graham Dwyer. Drawn the inside of the second row. So potentially a little awkward here, either behind leader or 3 fence. How's he going, High voltage?
He's going good. It's probably a little bit better of a race for him. He's had to race the real top guns his last couple, but the draw's good, I think. Nice little fence trip. Going to need a little bit of luck, but yeah, he'll make the most of it.
Speak the Truth is the class horse here. He's resuming. He's drawn out in 7. It's not easy though, is it? Drawn 7 over a mile.
No, it's never easy. It sort of doesn't matter if you're the best horse in the race. Sometimes they still make it hard for you, and there's a bit of speed underneath him, and I think there'll be a few of them that sort of want to be there as well. So the harder they go, the better for us, and we're going to be relying on a little bit of luck. But it's just a good little fence draw for him, and just hopefully get a little bit of luck.
Would you be disappointed if he didn't run top 4, top 5?
Oh, obviously depending on how the race pans
Yeah.
out. But if we sort of get a good run through and we sort of we don't get held up at all, I'd expect him to be running into the money, yeah.
Okay, that's high voltage race 4. Then we go across to race 7, Rolled in Gold. She's on the back up from Tuesday. How does she sort of fit into this race in your opinion?
She raced really good on Tuesday, actually. We drove her outside her comfort zone a little bit, and she probably raced better than expectations. And it's probably only a matter of time before she knocks off a race like this. You know, she's quite honest, and she'll be thereabouts.
Is gate 3 sticky though?
It is, but she seems to be running the gate a little bit better than she's known for. Sort of once upon a time, we always had to hold our breath and just let her do her thing. But now she's actually wanting to run the gate, so we could be able to get her to a spot and get handy.
Okay, so she's a rough hope?
Yeah, definitely. Rough place chance.
All right. What's the pick of your drives then on Saturday night?
I think Kick a Tin Along Pony, I think.
That was a good push you gave for him. So that's race 3, number 6, Kick a Tin Along Pony. Brendan, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries. Thank you.
A big thanks to both Taleah and Brendan giving up their time and insights ahead of their drives on Saturday night. And hopefully there's plenty of winners for both coming their way this weekend. Time now for a good thing or two, but I think we can strike early on Saturday night. 10 race card. We kick off just after 5:30. Race 2, number 5, OK Boomer. He was picked off late last week behind Hey There Joe. I think he can go one better on Saturday night. I think he's got the right race, the right conditions. He'll be very hard to beat. So, OK Boomer, here comes the boom. Hopefully that's what we'll be getting on Saturday night. He's the best bet. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. It's a good card of racing at Albion Park. We'll see you trackside first race at 5:34.